Unfortunately, we keep having to report this, but there was another U.S.-aided bombing in Yemen today. This time, 22 children have been killed in Yemen. 22 children killed by air raids on Yemen's Hodeidah. Rebels say the combing targeted a camp for IDPs in Durrahami, an area which has seen intense clashes in recent weeks. Yemen's Houthi rebels say at least 22 children and 4 women have been killed by air raids on a camp for internally displaced people in the flashpoint regions of Hodeidah. The Houthi-run Saba news agency reported on Thursday that fighter jets from the Saudi-UAE military alliance, which has been at war with the rebels since March 2015, targeted the IDP camp in Al-Kuwai, Durrahama, which lies about 20 kilometers from the strategic Red Sea port city of Hodeidah. By the way, these outlets need to stop writing the Saudi-UAE military alliance. It's not the Saudi-UAE military alliance. This war could not be happening without the United States of America. This war could not be happening without U.S. Refueling of Saudi planes, U.S. bombs. I don't know if CNN was unilaterally sick for the day, but they actually came to their senses and did a pretty good report showing the last bombing that Raytheon weapons were used, Boeing weapons were used. I don't know what happened at CNN that they finally decided to do some real reporting one day. It only lasted for a day, but, you know, you got to crawl before you could walk, right? So they need to start writing this as it is. It's not Saudi-UAE coalition. It's United States-Saudi-UAE military alliance. Citing Abdul Rahman Jahala, the director of a health office in the province, Saba said doctors from the International Committee of the Red Cross were unable to enter the area and recover victims from the attacks. Quote, the victims were dead children and women. It was a disgusting crime, Majed Dafa, a witness to one of the air raids, told the Houthi-run Al-Misara TV network. Hussein al-Bukaidi, pro-Houthi activist based in Sana'a, said the first strike targeted a village in Durrahami, quote, killing 5 people and injuring another 2, while the second killed 26 women and children who attempted to board a bus and flee. Quote, the second strike targeted that bus, killing everyone. Earlier on Thursday, the UAE state news agency WAM said the Houthis launched a ballistic missile in the same district, which resulted in the death of 1 child. I don't really need to read the rest because you get the point. And by the way, just as a reminder, the U.S. supplied a bomb that killed 40 children on that Yemen school bus. 40 children died on that Yemen school bus. I believe it was, let's see, August 9th was that? Yeah, August 9th. And here you have it. Bomb sold to Saudi Arabia was made by Lockheed Martin, favorite donor of Democrats and Republicans alike. So, everybody is rightly aghast whenever the Holocaust is mentioned, but we're supporting a modern-day Holocaust in Yemen. All in deference to our big defense contractors, corporations, and donors. Why? Why? Does any of these politicians, of course, Bernie and Ro Khanna and other progressives have been against this, but why is it that the United States, the politicians, are just fine killing these children and adults? Why? For what reason? I know the reason, but how do they look their constituents in the face? How do any of them put America forth as some beacon of freedom and democracy? And by the way, when terrorists attack the United States, and we all want to pretend, how dare they? There's no excuse. Well, 2 wrongs don't make a right, but why do you think we are breeding more terrorism? Of course, nobody should try to attack any country in an ideal world. But how do you radicalize people? Do you think they're radicalized because, like, you stole their line at McDonald's? We're murdering children around the country, around the world. Also, we could keep the endless United States war economy booming. That's what this is, folks. It's a war economy. You got Northam Gunthrop, Boeing, Raytheon, and a slew of other defense contractors. Lee Camp with Redacted Tonight has done way more extensive reporting on this than I. Go check out his videos on these defense contractors. It's insane. Rachel Maddow, who used to do such great reporting when she was sane and not a propagandist on the Iraq War and Afghanistan, Wyatt Northrop Grumman. Thank you, I mispronounced it. Northrop Grumman. Where is Rachel Maddow on these Yemenis atrocities? Chris Hayes, who got a big that-a-boy, I think a week ago. Oh, no. Chris Hayes got a that-a-boy 2 weeks ago for reporting on that Yemen school bus. Oh, he reported for 2 minutes on it. How brave of Chris Hayes. No, none of them deserve credit because they are complicit. The media is complicit. They allow the politicians not to have to address this. I want to read to you a tweet from Congressman Ro Khanna in response to this. Hold on. Why would my Twitter work when I'm live? I'll find it on my phone. Hold on. This is from Ro Khanna. The United States must no longer be complicit in the war crimes being committed in Yemen. No more military aid to Saudi Arabia. It's not complicated, folks. It is not complicated at all. There are war crimes going on, and they could not be happening. This war, Saudi Arabia could not keep this going without the U.S., and I don't want to only hear about Trump because the leader who put the foot on the gas was Barack Obama. Trump's made it worse. This is a bipartisan disgrace. It's bipartisan genocide. We can't talk about issues of income inequality, of poverty, of just a totally rigged political system in the country and ignore the fact that we're just murdering innocent children across the water. Bernie talks about the moral economy. Well, are we a moral country? Are we a moral people? There needs to be people in the streets on behalf of the people in Yemen. Because you know what? It's a slippery slope. Everyone talks about the slippery slope from Alex Jones to others. I'm starting to see some of that. But what about the slippery slope of what's going on in Yemen? You don't think? Everyone's worried about Trump and fascism. You don't think? We're starting to see attacks on protesters. We're starting to see attacks on water protectors. You don't think live bullets might start be flying? If American protesters and American progressives get in the way of big oil and big defense? Hell, the United States has become way worse than the British Empire that we fled and our creation was. Kimberly says, we need a war on climate change now. Absolutely. Lance says, I think of my kids. If bombs shot to death, I'd go berserk. Yeah, it's called you'd probably be radicalized. Again, I don't defend terrorism. It's terrorism. Nothing rationalizes terrorism. But you have to understand why it is they hate America. And that's what the media doesn't care to look into. And that's certainly what the politicians don't care. This is the defining moment in our history. If people don't start really, really protesting, really pointing out it's not just the U.S. who wants Saudi Arabia's oil. Donald Trump does a lot of business with Saudi Arabia. Donald Trump's organization. has done a lot of business with Saudi Arabia. That's what I never understood. The Democrats have always wanted to go after Trump with Russian collusion. Go after him for money laundering. Go after him for his business dealings. Go after him on legitimate things. You could go after Donald Trump on money laundering 6 ways to Sunday and actually have a case. Not some vague thing of collusion because did he know or didn't he know about a meeting with a Russian lawyer? There's money laundering. He has done money laundering with Russian oligarchs and the Russian mob when he was a New York real estate agent. He's done money laundering with Saudi Arabia. Google it. Possible there's money laundering he's done with Israel. There's been some reporting on this, and I've told you that is most likely what the strongest thing Mueller can find. When I was at the Young Turks and my former boss was huffing and puffing about the Russian collusion and all this stuff, I said, well, Russian collusion isn't a crime that I know of, but secondly, I don't think Trump or his campaign was smart enough to collude with the Russians. But third of all, I mean, I'm from New York. I know Trump. I've known of Trump for a long time. There was a lot of evidence of shady dealings he had. Cheryl says, yelling won't make it stop, Jordan, but it makes me feel better, so I'm going to keep doing it. So that's the news. You have good news on the Bernie front. You have great news on the Medicare for All front. Terrible news, again. And, you know, it's 5 o'clock. CNN's leading with Trump first sessions. I'd be shocked if they even mention Yemen. Endo, Ivanka, Trump, and Trump Jr. need to be indicted for Trump to promise to quit if they are spared. I got news for you. Do you think Donald Trump would resign for his children? Donald Trump would sell his firstborn child out to the river quicker than you can say river. 100%. Donald Trump ain't resigning to save his children. No way. So, folks, a few public service announcements before I go. Like I said, we are very close to launching Status Coup and statuscoup.com. We are trying to build that as a community and a real destination site. So we're not relying on other platforms like YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, but we draw you to our website. We are going to be going live same time every day. We will tell you about that when we launch. I'm also next week going to be going back, trying to do more podcasts for Patreon subscribers. We were going to do a call this week with Patreon subscribers, but something came up with my family, so I'm going to try to do that next week. And of course, we just passed 400. Keep signing up. If you're already a Patreon, tell your friends, tell your family, send them the videos, send them the reporting. I've got videos up from about East Chicago and the lead crisis there, updates there. Got new videos on Flint. Got new videos on things that no one else is covering. I just interviewed a journalist who was arrested down covering the Bayou Bridge. What is it? Buyout. No, I can't fucking pronounce this word. The Bayou Bridge pipeline. Karen Savage, a journalist, arrested down there. So we got a lot of great things up here, and your support is going to keep me independent. So I understand everybody's, pressed, and everybody's doing the best they can. If you can, whether it's Super Chat, whether it's Patreon or PayPal, that's paypal.me/statuscoup. All the links are in the description box. Your support very much helps. And thank you to blah, 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 Lance, $5. Chances of Trump finishing his first 4 years. Comments, Jordan. I think Trump will finish his first 4 years. Save this clip. I don't think he's getting impeached. I don't think he's resigning. I think he's running for re-election. If the election were held today and they ran anyone but Bernie Sanders, Trump would win re-election. I keep it real. So, that's the public service announcement. We'll be back. If there's breaking news over the weekend, I'll be here and go live. Thank you. Definitely check out the other videos here. And as always, most people are not lacking compassion. Most people don't know what the beep is going on. Peace out.